So
So,
great to see you here. And I've seen your videos on org mode,
yeah,
and you have been extremely methodical in going in depth into org mode. And it was actually your videos that introduced me to org mode when I was
okay.
searching for something, because I was looking for a way to organize things, and I was
Okay.
I was looking for a way to do it very seamlessly in the terminal,
Okay.
and I couldn't really. There wasn't anything good like that for Vim, so I
Yeah.
found org mode, and that prompted me to finally try Emacs.
Yeah, that's the always the battle, VI versus IMAX.
Exactly.
Ah, but I'm using both, honestly. I mean, I'm preferring IMAX, but it's also that if I have just to edit a few lines in the configuration file or whatever, I also use VI.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm really stuck to IMAX. It's okay. It's just an editor, and it's a wonderful GTT tool with a site editor and a little bit of operating system.
That's a good summary. It's
Yeah.
I'm actually. Are you using any add-on for Emacs?
No, I use the, how to say, I mean, I'm running SUSE Linux, the OpenSUSE 15.2 now, and I just installed the Emacs package, and there is not much more. I guess there's maybe a bit of addendum packages for when I was younger, long time ago,
Uh-huh.
around 10 years or whatever. I was using Usenet a lot.
Right.
So I was always using the GNU's newsreader in Emacs. And but now I'm really fine with the default package, and of course the org mode installation, because what comes with SUSE is a little bit outdated as it concerns org mode, but you can install it by yourself.
Tell me
So
about
the,
tell me a little bit about the history. How did you get introduced to Emacs from the beginning?
well, the thing is, my history is long. I'm an old man. You see, I'm
Yeah.
59 years old now, and I'm on the Linux side of life from the beginning of the century, you can say, this millennium even.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a computer scientist, software engineer, and I was working for a big PC manufacturer until this year. Now they closed the site and I lost my job, but that's not a problem. I enjoy staying at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess around 2000 or 1998 or whatever, I was really sick about Windows 98, was it at that time. I remember one day it was really weird because my computer was sort of driving me crazy. Something was wrong and with the registry in Windows, and they said, okay, that's not a problem because I'm a good guy. I always back up my registry file to a floppy disk with the Norton utilities. So I just have to restore it, and then everything is fine. And
Right.
then I started the restore process, and then it started with nothing. And I was, okay, what's going on here? After, I guess, 10 minutes or 15 minutes or half an hour, it suddenly said 1% complete. I said, oh God, this was in the evening. Okay, let the machine run all the night. And I was sleeping in the room next to the machine, and I was getting up and seeing how far we are. And it was around 4:30 in the morning when we were at 98%. I said, okay, this I want to see. I go and sit in front of the machine, and then I watch
I can
how
see
the
where you're
thing
going.
sucks
I
in.
think I can see where you're going, but keep
And
going.
okay, we were at 99, we were at 100, and then I got a message. I can't restore the registry because the registry is corrupt. And I said, okay, thank you. That was really nice. Practically spending all the night to restore something that you can't restore. At the end, it turned out it was a faulty memory module in my computer. But I was really, really sad and totally annoyed, and I said, okay, I have to see something else. And I admit I tried OS2. I bought an OS2. Let me think, I guess that was even floppies in this time, or was it already a CD? And then I got a book about Linux, and it was a distribution, and I tried it in dual boot on my machine, and I found out, okay, that looks nice. Somehow it works, and somehow it's really nice. So I started using Linux. I subscribed to the OpenSUSE CD distribution, because in that time that the internet was horribly slow. We just had modems.
Yeah.
So there was no high-speed internet. There was no video conferencing like we do today. There was just, you can download with, what was my modem? The first modem I had was 14,400 speed, and then I upgraded to an 38,000 BPS modem. And then I invested into ISDN. I had an ISDN dial on a demand router, but it was also only 64 kilobits. So there was no idea that you could install from the network at that time. You had to buy, get CDs and install from CDs. So SUSE and this time offered a subscription service where you paid, I don't know how much it was, not much, to say, okay, all 3 months or all 6 months you get a set of 6 or 7 CDs, and then you can install the current version of the distribution, and then yeah, you are fine. So I started using Linux. The first time I was, okay, let me have a dual boot system, and at the end I found out, okay, there's just one program that I'm using on Windows and the rest is already running on Linux. So let me see if I find a program that I can use on Linux for that. And it was my finance management, my personal accounting system. So I started with Blue Cache, and then I said, okay, now I don't need Windows anymore. Let me remove Windows from my PC, and I'm running pure Linux. And that is, in this time, we also, in my company, I was in the department for Windows testing. There was, we developed PCs. There was really research and development team. We made everything from the mainboard to the BIOS to really everything. And we had to test those things with Windows. And this time was really weird because, of course, when you have a new PC system with a new Intel chipset, Intel was not known that they produce the best chipsets that have no problems in the beginning. So you
I remember a bug that gave you root.
Yeah,
there
were bugs that gave you root. We had chipsets with the, oh, I don't remember what the memory bus was. That was around 2000. Really for 1995 or 6. There was a really fast. I guess it was Rambus. That they said we have a new memory interface bus that is really great, and everybody produced prototype boards with 3 memory slots. And then we went to the systems in Hanover, and people went around to see the boards of the competitors because we had really big problems with 3 memory slots. Boards were always crashing. And our engineers found out there are reflections on the memory bus, and this crashed the CPU. And we went to the other booths of, what was it, HP and Dell and so on. And I said, hey, you have nice boards there. Tell me, how does it work with 3 memory slots? They said, oh, yeah, it's not working. So everybody knew that was not working. Intel had to revoke the chipset and say, okay, you can only use 2 memory slots and so on.
So reflections, you mean that the traces were too long?
The signals, high frequency signals on the
bus. they were too long, so they were too long, reflections, and then they were messing everything up.
Really messing up.
Mhm.
And okay, in this time, there was also initiative from Microsoft, where Microsoft said, look, uh, we want people to be happy. So when they turn on the computer, you say, click, I turn on the computer. After a maximum time of 30 seconds, you should see the Windows desktop. It's not that you say, I can use the Windows desktop, you know, you see it, but if you click on the start menu, it pops up and then it vanishes because some background job is taking over and so on. But the goal was within 30 minutes, you have to see the Windows desktop. That was the priority one goal for our company, because if we achieve this, we get a discount from Microsoft. And if you buy 1 million licenses from Microsoft and you get $1 discount because you achieved this goal, you get 1 million practically. So this was much more important than stability and functionality and so on. We just want to see the Windows desktop within a minute, half a minute. And
So you
that
guys
was,
were even developing the BIOS then?
yeah, we were even developing the BIOS. We had a big department with BIOS developers, and I knew all of them. It was really great at that time. But I said, okay, I want to get out of this really bullshit, because for me, quality means functionality, not seeing something in 30 seconds and then that I can't use it. I just see it and, oh yeah, everything is fine. You know, we had one customer issue, I can tell you, that was so funny, because there was a time before where Microsoft had the good idea that people are getting confused if they see the BIOS boot messages. And they said, okay, the first thing that the customer should see is the Windows logo. So the customer knows everything is fine and he's happy. That was around 1994, 5, whatever. And there were, in this time, the CPU frequency was around 233 megahertz. So really slow compared to today's CPUs.
Yeah.
But the memory sizes were growing. And we had a workstation machine that had this relatively fast CPU, but also, I guess it was, let me think, 256 megabytes, not gigabytes, megabytes of memory. And now the big problem was, okay, the BIOS was set to don't show any messages until the Windows screen appears. But the BIOS does a power on self-test, which includes a memory test. And if you have to test 256 megabytes of memory at the CPU speed, it will take a while. So we had really a lot of customers that got the machine, they unboxed it, they plugged it in, started it, they saw a black screen for half a minute, said, okay, that on arrival, let's pack it and send it back. They have waited for example, 2 minutes, they would have seen their Windows logo and everything, but they say, okay, this one is broken, send it back.
So did you have to skip the memory test in order to make sure that the Windows logo appears?
You go in the BIOS setup and say, okay, show messages or whatever, that there were options, but the default was, I just show you nothing until you see the Windows logo. And
no, I mean also this requirement that you had, that within 30 seconds you had to show the logo.
This was a bit later.
Yeah.
And there we said, okay, we do the memory testing. The BIOS people, I guess, they didn't test the full memory that they say we test every memory cell. We just skip from kilobyte to kilobyte and see is there something, and then we are happy. And if something is, I mean, we had in this time the workstations even had ECC memory, so they had an extra bit or 2 bit that they could detect errors. But anyway, okay, I was then around the 1998, I was switching to Linux. And then when I was full in Linux, my firm, thank God, they said, okay, we are looking for a guy that can do Linux. I said, okay, here I am, what shall I do? And I got the responsible of Linux on the desktop for my company. So I was practically a one-man show that was testing the machines now, not in Windows, but in Linux. And I was having my system as I wanted it, because I said, okay, look, if I have to be responsible for Linux, I don't take your company Windows desktop because I don't need it. If I have to sell Linux to customers, I have to show them that I can work with it. I can't say I sell you a Linux machine and then when they see me working on a Windows machine. That would be completely stupid. So I was responsible for Linux. And of course, I was starting to learn a lot of things. I mean, I was learning about testing itself, about hardware certification, because SUSE and Red Hat, they have hardware certification programs. And then I learned about kernel development and, of course, editors. I was starting with the Nano editor. And then I said, okay, let me see a bit of VI. And then I found Emacs with Emacs in the window. Looks nice, looks powerful. Let me try this. I was trying Emacs, and I was using Emacs for news groups for Usenet with the news reader. I was using it for mail for a while, and I was really fine with it. And I remember it was, I don't know the exact date, it was 2000, let me think, 2008, 2009 or whatever. We had a meeting between us, our company people, and the people from Red Hat. Mm-hmm. And we were meeting in Paderborn, and we went to a pub in the evening with the guys from Red Hat, and there was Anders Carlson, he was from Sweden, and we were drinking a beer in a pub, and then he asked me, what are you using for GTD? Because I said I have and this time I guess it was a BlackBerry device, and that I had a to-do list program. And I said, look, I have my BlackBerry here, I can type in to-do items, and then it's very nice and so on. And I said, what are you using? And he said, I'm using org mode. And I said, what are you using? Yeah, org mode. I said, okay, this one I have to look up in the search engine. I guess at this time it was Alta Vista, the favorite search engine. I don't know if Google already existed as a search engine. And I had a look and I said, oh, looks interesting. Let me start trying this out. And I tried it out. And really, I have to say, my wife got sick in the end of 2010. She was really in a serious condition with cancer. And I suddenly was responsible for all my kids, the house, working, and so on. And without org mode, I wouldn't have survived. And this time I was using org mode. I already had published beginner's article about org mode on the German Linux network magazine, that they were publishing an issue of their magazine every month in the web. I said, okay, I write you an article about org mode, how you can organize your life with org mode. They printed it, and I was using it in this time. And really, thanks to org mode, I didn't go nuts when my wife was sick, because I had to drive her to hospital 3 times a week. I had to take care of the kids. And you know, there's all that stuff that needs to be done. And you should not forget about it. And this stuff was in org mode. So every day I could see, okay, what's important now? What do I have to do? What can't I postpone or whatever? What is really urgent? And I do those things, and then I take care of my kids again. That was really a lifesaver for me. And okay, then I have to confess, I fell for the shiny new object syndrome. You know that you have a pretty wife, and then there's the pretty neighbor. Oh, she's much prettier. Let me see. And I had the first Android smartphone, and I said, oh, let me see what to-do list apps does Android have. And I tried a few. That's my son.
No. Hi there.
I tried a few to-do list apps, and komm, Stefan, geh hoch. Später. I had a few to-do list apps, like there was, I don't remember the names all. I tried them out and said, yeah, they look nice. They have a graphical desktop. They can have colors and so on. And then I found an application called IQTel. And I said, this is really great, because you could customize it, and it had a web interface and so on. And I started using this. And then I had a colleague in my department that came one day and said, hey, you did the dog mode article a few years ago. Are you following them? What are they doing? I said, no, I'm not following them anymore. I'm using something else. Yeah, but he said, that looks interesting what they are doing now. I said, okay, let me have a look again. And I had a look again. That was, I have to see in my blog, there's an article, back to text. Let me see if you see my...
So what year was this?
I'm just looking. Let me see, back to text. The text in my blog. That was in 2013. I said, okay, let me go back to org mode and see what they can do. And I found out, okay, whatever it is, I mean, this I could tell thing was nice, really. But it was still a pain in the ass because you had to adapt your working style to the tool.
Mm-hmm.
And in org mode, I can adapt the tool to my working style. That's the big difference. And the other difference, of course, that's now really true. Org mode is open source. That means the files that you have in org mode will ever be there. And since they are plain text, you can always see them and read them. The problem is IQtel went out of business a few years ago. They said our business concept didn't work out. So let's close the site and it's gone. Org mode will be there in 20 years even. As long as Emacs exists, the tool will also exist. Of course, it will develop, but I can still look at my files even if I don't have an Emacs editor. If I just use the cat command in Linux, I see my files and I know what the meaning is. That's the really great advantage. So I was switching back to org mode and said, okay, let me go back to text and let me organize my life a bit better. And at this time, I started also joining the GTD group on LinkedIn. And the people always ask, what are you using for GTD? And I said, I'm using org mode. It's a text editor extension. And you saw the comments, what are you using, a text editor for GTD? How should that work? And then around 2016, I said, okay, let me record a video for that group in LinkedIn so that I can show them how org mode looks like. And I put myself on the computer and I had that screen capturing program. And at this time I had two monitors set up, one with a 1920 by 1080 screen size and the other with 1280 by 1024. And this video I recorded was from the tower 1280 by 1024, so it was not really screen fitting in YouTube. And I tried to show them practically everything. And I had, I guess it was 20 or 25 minutes of video demonstration of org mode. And I had to look at that video and I said, okay, that's a video, but nobody will understand what I'm doing here. Even myself, I'm thinking, what did I record here? What is that? It is completely garbage. I mean, it's still on YouTube. Somewhere it should be in my videos, not linked to the playlist, but it's there. Maybe it's not on public. I have to see it. I never deleted it, but it was really, really bad. Then I said, okay, Rainer, you can do better. If you really want to show them what you are doing, you have to structure somehow. Then I said, okay, let me start with one video structuring the, how to say, outline mode. How can I define headlines and how can I move them around and so on. And then I had the first video and then I said, okay, now from here, where are we going? And so on and so on. And at the end, I had, I guess, 36, 37 videos on YouTube. And the funny thing was, people found me on YouTube. They said, okay, there's a video about org mode and it looks nice. There's a series about org mode. And then I got comments, hey, great, I learn a lot from your videos and so on. Of course, that motivated me to go on and produce more videos. And I gained followers on YouTube. And I see, let me see what's YouTube.
So how can people find your channel on YouTube?
they have to look for Rainer König, I guess. I have not a dedicated channel name. That's the problem. Let me see. It's 3,627 subscribers at the moment.
Yeah.
And most of them came because of org mode. They didn't come because I was posting my daughter playing piano or that I'm playing guitar or whatever. They just wanted to see the org mode videos.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really interesting because then I found out that on Reddit and other social networks, my video playlist was pushed around and shared with other people, and people made blog posts about it and so on. So I always got new subscribers, and I said, okay, fine for me. If you want to learn from that, and if you can learn from that, that's really great. And then in 2000, let me think, 2018, or 2018, and it's about 2 years ago, my firm announced that we will close in 2020. You all have to look for a new job.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, let me see. When I'm out of the firm, what can I do? And then I had the idea, okay, we could do the org mode videos again, but this time we put them on Udemy because I did some Udemy courses at that time. You said, okay, that looks nice. You can learn something. You have to pay a small amount of money for a course. Let me try out if I could earn money with those courses. So in this summer, I said, okay, I want to be at least at the same quality like the YouTube series. So I want my screen on, where people still ask me, what is that tool? How can I get it? And then I said, okay, I don't want to make just a few slides because in the YouTube videos, I had a sort of slideshow on the left side that explains the topic of this lesson. But it was one slide was made with LibreOffice, one slide was made with org mode and so on. I said, okay, I want to have a complete course book. So the first thing was I started recording an intro, and then I said, okay, now I should record all the lessons again. But let me write a book first, what I'm telling the people, and then I record the lessons and try to stick to the book.
Right.
And in the book, they can read, because I found out if you follow courses on Udemy, it's everything fine, but the subtitles are created automatically from a artificial intelligence system, whatever, and they are really lousy sometimes. I had courses where I was really falling from the chair from laughing because the subtitles were completely off.
Yeah, especially when you talk
what,
about some computer stuff, it really gets confused.
It's really crazy. So I said, okay, let me give the people a book, because in my as my learning experience, I learn best if I have a book where I can quickly look up things, and if somebody shows me and I can follow what he does. I mean, I've done a Android developer course on Udemy, and the guy was, yeah, it was nice. He had a lot of knowledge, but you had a screen where you see the Android Studio IDE, and then he was quickly typing something using some hotkeys that he didn't explain, and you were trying to follow, and you said, okay, he was there, now he's there, but how did he get there? What did he do? What key combination did he press? And I said, I don't want to make such courses because people can't follow you.
Right.
A good course is when you are able to follow what your instructor says. And if you learn step by step, I mean, the problem is the org mode learning curve. If you want to learn it from the manual, it's very steep, because the manual is just a reference, but there is no concept index that you say, okay, start here and then grow. And I tried to make a course that says, okay, we start little and we go step by step, and suddenly you find out, hey, now I know a lot. And it was not painful, this learning process. This is the golden rule, that you say, okay, step by step. You build on the basement of the lessons before, but you don't do something that is miles ahead and nobody can follow you. And I guess that concept was really paying off, because now I said, I have published this course on Udemy. It went online on October 3rd, and today I already have 262 subscribers.
Right.
That do the course. And I'm on Udemy for Business now. On Friday I got the mail. Your course was selected for Udemy on Business, where only 3% of the courses from Udemy go. So my course seems to be something special. I have no idea why, but they like it. Now I get a lot of Udemy for Business students, which is a bit, how to say, it's nice to have more students, but at the moment I don't see how much I earn from them, because Udemy for Business pays once a month, and they calculate your payment according to the time that the students spend on your course. So they have a budget that they say we have whatever amount of money for all courses, and if they spend 50% of the time on your course, you get 50% of the money. And if they spend 3% and so on, I have no idea what I will get at the end. I will see. But it's interesting anyway. And of course, I feel a bit honored that they say, okay, you had this course online for 2 weeks and you already made it to the Udemy for Business catalog. I don't know if this is a common development of a course when it starts. I have no idea. I mean, I'm really new to this business, and I'm a bit excited to see. When I remember the other weekend, people on Reddit posted that I have this course. They found out there is this course now. They said, "Hey, Rainer has published a course on Udemy. Come on, let's buy that." And on that Saturday, I earned already $700 from all the people that came from Reddit and said, "Okay, I already did the YouTube tutorials, but I want to pay back something. So I buy the course and everything is fine."
Right.
Yeah.
So
Martin.
how do people find you your course?
Yeah, they have. I mean, I have my blog. You know my blog page.
Tell me, or show it on the screen.
I sent you an URL of my. Let me see. There should be some chat. Okay, you get an URL now.
I will enable screen sharing. Hang on a second.
So I can share. You have screen share. I can share my screen.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Well, let me see.
Yeah, you can share your screen. Just
multiple participants. I can share screen. Okay, here is my screen. Desktop 1, desktop 2.
Hang on a second. I think it's
I move my window here. No, I leave it at the other desktop.
I cannot see a screen though.
I shared the second desktop. So you see my screen share now.
Yeah.
My shared screen. Do you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
This is my blog here in Google Chrome. So the address is könig-stetten.de.
Right.
And here is the back to text, the historic. I go back to org mode, and here I am. So, and you see there's my channel dashboard with the lots of people. And you see on the comments, when you see here, these are all the comments from the org mode thing. Hi, Rainer, I'm going to purchase this right now. Love it. And the other one, I was seeing your videos. I buy it, and so on. And if I go to my channel, let me see. This is the channel. Hi there. This one I stop. I should record this again sooner or later. Let me just put you in chat. Is there a chat window anywhere? This Zoom thing is really driving me nuts. But you see, there's like stop video, mute, annotate, more. No. Okay. There's the chat window, so I can send you the URL of the YouTube site as well.
Yep.
So
And this is just basically for anybody who would be watching this video. I already know where to find the channel.
Yeah, sure.
But
I mean, when I'm blogging, I'm blogging about a lot of things. Sometimes I blog about how I changed my org mode system. You see here in the background, there is my daily to-do list.
So let's have a look now. It's do you have any time limit on this Zoom meeting?
I guess Zoom will give us a time limit because I have no Zoom subscription. So right. I guess the time limit is 40 minutes, but then we can reconnect anyway.
So let's reconnect and do in the next video just dive into different hacks we can do in org mode.
Okay, so let me see. So shall we put it on? Oh.
So if you just close the window on your side.
Stop sharing now, and then we could put end. But then how do I send you the next meeting ID?
I'll just join your room again. So you join through the same link as you sent to me. And
yeah, I joined through I scheduled the meeting in Zoom, and I said, okay, join now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we close it now and we join again, is the countdown then stopped, or?
Yeah, it's gonna be reset.
Okay, then let's quit this and I join again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. And meeting for